Enjoy real value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
Good evening and welcome to the main news. My name is Joyce Mabika. Susan Masona is on sign language.
And I'm Justin Mahlahla. Dora Ngube is at our Montrose studios in Bulawayo. She'll join us later on in the bulletin. These are our leading stories tonight.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa satisfied with construction in Mount Hamden ahead of SADC summit.
In business, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe happy with stable exchange rate that is restricting inflation.
And in sport, nation mourns former Dynamos and Ghana's striker Norman Maroto.
Lumumba was the last player to score over 20 goals in a single PSL season.
We'll now give you the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has expressed satisfaction with progress in the construction of the new city in Mount Hamden, including the SADC Summit Conference venue and presidential villas.
The president spoke to journalists after an aerial and ground inspection of the new city.
The President of the Republic, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, visited the new site of the new city in Mount Hamden. It all started with an aerial inspection of the new city in Mount Hamden near Harare, as the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, wanted to see for himself what is actually obtaining on the ground. Then soon after landing at the new site for the conference venue, he saw villas and other buildings at various stages of construction. Then to ease the tour, he drove along the boulevard that links the Mazoe Road to the new Parliament building in Mount Hamden. He then spoke to journalists on his impressions.
The vision we have is unfolding slowly but certainly. We are creating a new city here. And I'm happy that the vision is actualizing slowly but certainly.
Come August, will we be here for the summit?
August will have adequate facilities to host the August conference. But that is not the end of the development of the vision of the new city.
Driving on the boulevard?
Yes, I actually have driven on it now. So by the time in August, more decorations will have been put on site.
It is true that the whole Harare resembles a construction site. Talk of roads, buildings, factories, to mention but a few. Part of Vision 2030 and the National Development Strategy 1. So, a city is upcoming, very close to the new parliament. Zimbabwean economy is ticking. It's a construction site where you see thousands of people being employed. Ruben Barwe, ZPC News, Mount Hamden.
The President and First Secretary of ZANU PF, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, also addressed the ZANU PF National Consultative Assembly in the capital, where he called on the party to continue delivering on its people-centered policies to drive development across the country.
The 24th National Consultative Assembly of the ruling party, ZANU PF, roared into life this Friday, where members from across the country deliberated on policy initiative guiding the national development agenda. The event was graced by the President and First Secretary of the party, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, who took time to enunciate the party's position feeding into the national development strategy.
The resounding victory by our revolutionary mass party, ZANU PF, stands as a testament of the continued confidence the people of our country have in our leadership. We are a party which is wholeheartedly pursuing a people-centered national development agenda, which leaves no one and no place behind. We remain guided by our rich liberation war heritage and the ideology bequeathed to us by the founding fathers and the luminaries of our great party, ZANU PF. To this end, the ZANU PF-led government is advancing programs and projects that entrench the true meaning of independence, of sovereignty, of dignity and integrity in our nation.
The ruling party's pro-people policies initiated under the Second Republic have resulted in wheat self-sufficiency and macroeconomic stability in the country.
To date, unprecedented successes have been recorded throughout all sectors of our economy as a result of people-centered and responsive policies by your government. The timeous implementation of programs and projects have seen an improved quality of life and the social services for our people, especially those at the grassroots level. Many are being lifted out of poverty as a result of the policies of our revolutionary party, ZANU PF. In spite of the continued illegal economic sanctions and the numerous attacks attempted on our economy, we are marching forward, and backwards never as a country. We have macroeconomic stability and increased foreign direct investment inflows, which have seen our recognition as the fastest growing economy in our region despite sanctions. The people of Zimbabwe are commended for embracing the various economic development initiatives being pursued by our party-led government, particularly the widespread acceptance of all Zimbabwe gold-backed currency, ZiG.
Comrade Mnangagwa also spoke on government initiatives to attract more foreign direct investment into the country, emphasizing that national interests should always come first.
The ZANU PF government has also implemented policies which have seen unprecedented investments in the mining sector. These include a new iron and steel plant in Manize, the resuscitation of mining in Kamativi, as well as other new lithium, gold, and coal mining projects throughout the country. In this sector, our focus is to ensure that the rich national resources of our motherland, Zimbabwe, benefit communities and the nation as a whole. Our national interests and the well-being of the people of Zimbabwe are at the core of all our policies and programs. I therefore assure this august gathering of you, the stalwarts of our party, that under the Second Republic, the party and the government will never betray the revolution, and that the party will never die in our hands.
The ZANU PF National Consultative Assembly was held after the Central Committee and Politburo meetings conducted earlier this week. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
A government has issued a stern warning to malcontents who are bent on disrupting public order. Abigail Tembo reports.
In a media briefing in Harare this Friday,
Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jennifer Muswere, who is also Acting Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, repped criminal and opportunistic elements for attempting to instigate anarchy and despondency in the country.
The government has observed attempts to instigate anarchy and despondency by some criminal and opportunistic elements in the opposition movement, some politicians, and some civil society organizations. This is in line with their well-documented modus operandi, where they seek to raise funding to try to resurrect their political careers through subverting the will of the people. Therefore, as government, we are warning all perpetrators of these serial choreographed theatrics who are involved in subversive activities aimed at undermining the rule of law, that their days are numbered and that their lawlessness plans will never see the light of the day. I repeat, that their lawlessness plans will never see the light of the day.
Government also reaffirmed its commitment to national security and upholding of the rule of law.
The government of Zimbabwe reaffirms its commitment to protecting the nation, the citizens, by ensuring that law and order prevails. Law enforcement agencies will not hesitate to apprehend all those who undermine the justice delivery systems and cause chaos and mayhem. Finally, the government of Zimbabwe would like to assure all members of the public that the security forces have adequate capacity to maintain law and order in terms of the constitutional mandate.
It also emerged law enforcement agencies are on high alert to apprehend malcontents who undermine the justice delivery system through instigating chaos. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe and Venezuela have signed 10 memoranda of understanding at the inaugural Joint Permanent Commission of Cooperation underway in Caracas.
The signed agreements in the fields of mining, agriculture and communication, among others, sets in motion engagements between the two countries as they seek to deepen economic and political ties.
It has been indeed a very productive and successful session, signifying the importance both parties attach to the Joint Commission as a forum for deepening bilateral cooperation between our two brotherly countries. We also managed to agree on new areas of cooperation that would lead to a further strengthening, deepening, and broadening of the relationship for the mutual benefit of our two countries and indeed our two peoples.
Venezuela Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Ivan Eduardo Gil Pinto held various measures being undertaken by the government of Zimbabwe to stabilize the economy, including the introduction of the Zimbabwe gold currency.
Within the National Development Strategy, as well as the currency backed up by gold, ZIG or Zimbabwe gold, which we know will contribute to the definitive recovery.
Diplomatic relations between Venezuela and Zimbabwe date back to 1979, with marked emphasis after the assumption of power by Commander Hugo Chavez in 1999, as he promoted a South-to-South cooperation to create growth and development opportunities for Latin America and Africa. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
The country's national electricity demand is expected to increase by an additional 2,300 megawatts by 2025 due to increased investments in the mining sector.
A delegation from Zimbabwe led by Energy and Power Development Minister Honorable Edgar Moyo is in Spain for the Africa Energy Forum, a platform that brings African governments and state utilities under one roof to discuss Africa's opportunities in power and gas sectors. Addressing the plenary, Honorable Moyo highlighted some of the investment opportunities in the country's energy sector, considering that Zimbabwe's demand for energy continues to be on an upward trajectory.
Zimbabwe is open for business. We invite you to come into the space so that we partner together and develop that country. On the rural electrification side, the mini-grid concept is a very important one, because in some areas our settlements are very scattered and it might be very difficult to wire through them. So a few weeks back we've been commissioning such projects, and they appear to be very impactful.
Other greenfields and brownfields investment opportunities highlighted at the forum include opportunities to exploit gas resources in the Zambezi Valley, repowering of Munga Unit 1 to 6, and the electrification of over 400,000 urban and peri-urban households. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Government has warned the media against abusing the constitutional provision on the freedom of the Fourth Estate. This comes as the Office of the President and Cabinet has demanded an apology and a retraction from a local daily newspaper for maliciously misrepresenting and maligning President Emmerson Mnangagwa through a story it carried in its edition published this Friday. The Newsday carried on its front page a story titled "U.S. Scoffs at ED," wherein it alleged that during his recent visit to Moscow, President Mnangagwa told his Russian counterpart, President Vladimir Putin, that Zambia posed a security threat to Zimbabwe, as its security sector was heavily funded by the United States government. The story further claimed that President Mnangagwa had described Zambia as an American client state that was bent on destabilizing the SADC region. In a statement this Friday, the Deputy Chief Secretary, Presidential Communications in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Mr. George Charamba, said the claims in the Newsday story were intentionally malicious and meant to drive a wedge between the sister republics of Zimbabwe and Zambia. He said in view of the abundant malice and recklessness in the Newsday story, the Office of the President and Cabinet demands the editor of the publication to unconditionally retract the misleading story without delay.
Local firms continue to embrace the newly introduced local currency, the Zimbabwe gold, describing it as important in promoting the ease of doing business.
Local industry players believe the introduction of the Zimbabwe gold, ZIG, has helped stabilize the exchange rate while also creating a conducive business operating environment. It emerged during the Zimplo annual general meeting held in Harare this Friday that since the introduction of the ZIG in April this year, inflation has significantly declined, as evidenced by a month-on-month deflation of 2.4% as at the end of May. Acting Group Chief Executive Officer of the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange-listed manufacturing company, a large share in the construction and agricultural sectors, Mr. William Swan acknowledged the positive effects of the ZIG on the manufacturing sector.
In terms of the Zimbabwe gold, or the ZIG currency, now ZWG, I believe, we've advocated for the introduction of a stable local currency for a long time, because that gives us a competitive edge in the market. It reduces your operating costs, and it's the only way that we will become fully stable and a regional powerhouse.
Some of the issues that came out of the annual general meeting include the impact of El Nino-induced drought, low international mineral prices, and global supply chain challenges on the local economic outlook. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The late national hero, Brigadier General retired Daniel Muchunguma, is said to have left a big void in his family and community, with his legacy said to live long after his death.
The late national hero, Brigadier General retired Muchunguma, was a family pillar whose contribution towards unifying and empowering family members will be greatly missed.
He was a unifier and a disciplinarian. Kuvana vedu chinhu chandaida pamusoro pemurume wangu ndechekuti aiva achinkareja vana vedu kuti vaende kuchikoro. Vana vedu vakaenda kuchikoro, and a support system to the family, yes, the entire Mchunguma family.
His children and relatives are aware of the void left by Brigadier General Mchunguma.
Taraskirwa zvikuru semhuri yekwaMtsunguma nekusiiwa kwataitwa namukoma vedu. Mukoma vedu anga ari munhu aibatanidza mhuri yose yekwaMtsunguma.
Our father was very generous. He was a very generous man. Even in our families and everyone around us, even in my communities, kwangari influential. Nekumusha kwedu. Our father wanted everyone to do good.
Mukwasha wangu wangari munhu wandanga ndichida kwazvo nokuda kwounhu hwake hwaangachita muupenyu hwedu semhuri. Wangari munhu anoremekedzeka iye achiremekedzawo vana vatezvara vake.
He was a good pillar of the community. He supported in drilling maboreholes and supporting kugadzirwa kweroad.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza says, Manicaland province is now poorer without Brigadier General retired Mchunguma.
Magamba akasunungura nyika yeZimbabwe magamba anokoshera zvikuru. Muno Manicaland tiri kunyanya kurwadziwa kuti we have lost a lot of them. Nguva pfupi yapfuura iyi tiri kutenda president wedu, President ED Mnangagwa nekudeclare gamba redu rekuno kuManicaland a national hero.
Meanwhile, Brigadier General retired Mchunguma's board will be taken to his rural home in Makoni from Rusape this Saturday before being taken to Harare on Sunday ahead of burial at the National Heroes Acre on Monday. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Rusape.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has remained committed to the total empowerment of children she took off the streets and placed at Mbare Skills Development Center by ensuring that they receive an education.
First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, in a bid to totally transform lives of children who used to live on the streets, facilitated the establishment of special classes at a Skills Development Center in Mbare in collaboration with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. The establishment of special classes for children she took off the streets is meant to make them stay away from drugs and other social ills. The center has enrolled primary learners from ECDA to grade 7, with their parent school being Narira Primary in Mbare, while Form 1 to 4 classes are under George Stark Secondary School. The children start their lessons early morning every weekday after having breakfast, and meals are also provided to them during the course of the day. They are also provided with clothes, stationery, and toiletries by the First Lady. The Mother of the Nation also ensures that the children have regular health checks by bringing health personnel at the center. Skills Development Center is also endowed with sporting facilities for various sporting activities like netball and soccer for the children's physical and mental well-being. Such activities also afford them the opportunity to interact with members of the community, which is key in their rehabilitation process. The head who oversees the learning process, Mr. Ramek Mbelechi, said the academic studies have unearthed intelligent children.
Vana ava vakauya vachibva munzvimbo dzakasiyana-siyana ende vachiraudzwa kuti vana vanga vachirarama vari mumadrugs, vamwe vachiputa fodya, vamwe vachirara musango. But toda kutenda ike zvino nokuti vazhinji vavo vari kuraudza kuti vachinja. Even mukavaona mamiriro avakaita kugeza nokukwanisa kutaura nevamwe zvinoratidza kuti zvachinja nokuda kuuya pano pavari kuwana rubatsiro. Tinowana rubatsiro rwesipo, tinowana chikafu kubva kuna amai, tinowana rubatsiro, even health chaicho yavanouya vachiongororwa. Saka tinoda kutenda izvozvo basa ratiri kuitirwa naamai.
Mrs. Letwin Mandishika, who teaches primary classes, said most of the children have great potential.
Vakatanga vachinetsikana zvavo kunyora asi zvinezvi patava pakati petemo takutonakidzwa nevana ava naivo vakutonakidzwa nekuita basa ravo rechikoro vachinyatsonyora zvakanaka zvichiratidza kuti pane kwatiri kuenda ende chishuwo chamai ichi tinofara nacho chaizvo. Tinoda kungovatenda mai Auxilia Mnangagwa vakava nemuono wakanaka kudai kuvana vedu vemuZimbabwe.
Secondary school mathematics teacher Mrs. Anastasia Maroto held Amai for a vision which has made the children realize their potential.
Chiri kunyanya kundifadza ndechekuti vana ava vari kubva mustreet kuda kutenda amai nerudo rwavo rwokutora vana vari mustreet vekuti isusu mutauni unenge uchingoona vachifamba but apa amai vovatora voita chido chekuti vagare muklasi vatange kudzidza. Ini ndodzidzisa mesi saka ipapo ndaitofunga kuti zvichaoma but pandiri kutanga navo vana ava unotokompeya nevandandiri vemuklasi vana ivava vari kuratidza rudo nechikoro.
The students are grateful to Dr. Mnangagwa for giving them a new lease of life.
Noda kutendawo amai vakatora mastreets ine zvitakutoendawo kuchikoro ndinoda kushirawo kuti ndipedze chikoro ndisvikewo kana A level.
Tinotendawo amai edu Mnangagwa vanotipa zvekudya tikahwa vanotendesa kukliniki tinoenda kuchikoro tinowana zivo kubva kuchikoro pane zvese zvanotiti saka ndinokutende zvangu amai.
Ndoda kutendawo amai vanotibatsirawo ndaisaendawo kuchikoro vanobatsirawo nekuenda kuchikoro nekudya zvakanaka nezvekupfeka.
Those who did not want to pursue academic studies are involved in various projects including carpentry, recycling, poultry and gardening, courtesy of Amai. The projects are flourishing as beneficiaries are now earning money from selling chickens, garden produce and waste.
Kakawanda vakomana vatinoshanda navo vanouya vachinonga marara havazowanike vari pamabhesi vachitora madrugs. Takwanisawo kuwana occupation isina foromani tichitenda mamwe akatunzira program yewaste management neEMA.
Tiri kufarawo kuti mama vakatibetserawo neproject yemachickens. Vakatitumirawo vanhu vekuStewart kuti titokosiye huku. Takukwanisa kuchengeta huku takawanda. Takapiwa macertificates kana iko zvinotogona kana kutoenda kana kunoita project yemachickens kana 10,000.
Dr. Mnangagwa has shown commitment to end the drug menace by establishing Skills Development Center in Mbare, where children who used to live on the streets and drug survivors are receiving training in various projects. She identified the place and renovated it, working with the city council. This is not the first time the Mother of the Nation has launched a project for children living on the streets. She also established Dr. Guzilia Mnangagwa Children's Home, formerly known as Chambuta in Chiredzi, where children who used to live on the streets are being sheltered while pursuing academic studies and undergoing vocational training. The home was changed from Chambuta Children's Home to Dr. Guzilia Mnangagwa Children's Home in honor of the First Lady, who to this day continues mobilizing resources for its sustenance and initiating countless projects. Beneficiaries of the program have quit drugs and are now focusing on empowerment projects like piggery, horticulture, goat rearing, carpentry, welding, and cattle rearing. The former street children who used to engage in social vices like stealing, drug abuse, and prostitution have now reformed and are now living comfortably at the home with their foster mothers. They are now going to school, with some learning in boarding schools. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Remember, you have access to these and more stories on our website, which is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Remember also to check our social media platforms, X, Facebook, YouTube, as well as our WhatsApp channel at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin. In business, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe happy with stable exchange rate, that is restriction inflation.
And in sport, nation mourns former Dynamos and Ghana's striker Norman Maroto. We'll give you these and other stories when we return. Stay with us.
This is the currency we've been waiting for. A currency that's not just paper and coins, but a symbol of Zimbabwe's rich resources and stability. That's Zimbabwe Gold. This is ZIG. Let's dive into what makes ZIG not just a new currency, but a new beginning for Zimbabwe's economy. ZIG is born out of a blend of traditional and innovative financial wisdom, anchored in gold and precious metals, along with foreign currency reserves. This backing isn't just for show, it's a promise of stability and trust, ensuring that ZIG's value is as solid as the gold it's pegged to. From the bustling markets of Harare to the serene landscapes of rural Zimbabwe, ZIG is set to become the medium of exchange that's both reliable and accessible, with denominations ranging from ZIG 200 to ZIG 1 and even handy coins. It caters to every transaction, big or small. Transitioning to ZIG is a breeze. It's all about inclusivity, ensuring no one is left behind in Zimbabwe's financial renaissance. ZIG doesn't walk alone. It co-circulates with other foreign currencies under Zimbabwe's multi-currency system, enriching our financial landscape. It's a legal tender that not only simplifies transactions, but also restores confidence in our economy, promising a future where stability and growth go hand in hand. So why ZIG? Because it's more than just money. It's a symbol of Zimbabwe's resilience, a step towards an economy where stability is the norm, and every Zimbabwean can look forward to a prosperous future. Welcome to the era of Zimbabwe Gold, where our currency is our pride.
Trust Academy, an associate of Midlands State University, is currently enrolling for the June intake 2024 for the following diplomas: telecommunications, networking and PC engineering, accounting, business administration, entrepreneurship, marketing and management information systems. We offer both online and face-to-face learning. Join with 5 O-levels and acquire a diploma. Graduate and you can pursue a degree with Midlands State University. For more information, contact us on our WhatsApp number 0775 690 007. Visit our campuses at number 52 4th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue in Bulawayo. And in Harare, we are at number 40 Livingstone Avenue. Visit our website www.trustacademy.ac.zw. Trust Academy, a training for excellence.
Zimbabwe, where the sun kisses the earth, lies a world of endless opportunity.
Here, amidst the vibrant colors and lively exchanges, the spirit of abundance lives. Allow yourself the opportunity to connect and innovate. See the future of your business at the 114th edition of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show.
Filled with ideas, new and radical, that are cultivating prosperity, growing business, innovating for change, and nurturing our future. From agriculture to agribusiness, and from agricultural education to agri-tourism, every sector finds a place to flourish here, where companies unveil their latest innovations and network with current and potential markets. ZAS 2024, where the future of all business sectors is being written today.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is seeking a visionary leader to shape our future. Are you a commercially astute CEO with a passion for innovation and transformation? Do you have a proven track record in business strategy and digital aptitude? If so, this is your opportunity to lead ZBC into a new era. We need a CEO who can drive growth, foster a customer-centric culture, and embrace emerging technologies. You will be responsible for upholding the highest standards of corporate governance and risk management. Scan the QR code or visit www.ipcconsultants.com/jobs/100547 to apply. Don't miss this chance to shape the future of ZBC. Apply now and be the driving force behind ZBC's success.
Welcome back. The government of Zimbabwe has signed a memorandum of understanding with a local organization to cooperate in combating human trafficking.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed by government, represented by the Anti-Trafficking Interministerial Committee and Vukahani Trust, will see the two parties cooperating on rescuing, support and reintegration as well as restoration of the dignity of victims of human trafficking.
This partnership is in line with the Zimbabwe Anti-Trafficking in Persons National Plan of Action 2023 to 2028, which enjoins the partnership pillar of the Anti-Trafficking Interministerial Committee to establish formal engagement with non-state actors in response to trafficking in persons. We believe that to win the fight against human trafficking, we all need hands on deck.
Executive Director of Vukahani Trust, Dr. Gerald Shirichena, said his organization has contributed to the fight against human trafficking through various initiatives.
We have developed a questioning protocol used by monitors to identify potential victims at transit points. This approach allows for intervention before exploitation occurs, making it cost-effective prevention strategy. Our research on human trafficking and migration has resulted in published papers and the comprehensive resource materials, which include toolkits for various industries prone to trafficking, highlighting red flags and promoting awareness.
According to the International Labour Organization, there are an estimated 40 million victims of human trafficking globally, with women and girls being disproportionately affected. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime reports that sexual exploitation is the most common reason for human trafficking, accounting for 59% of all cases, followed by forced labor at 34%. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Our bulletin briefly shifts to our Montreal studios in Bulawayo, where we are joined by Dora Ngube. Good evening, Dora.
Thank you so much, Justin and Joyce. A lovely evening to you. We continue with the main news. Government and the ZANU PF leadership in the Midlands province have been charmed by the progress of the Shurugi-Mandamabwe road. This came out during an assessment tour of the ongoing roadworks in the district under the Emergency Road Rehabilitation Program.
The country's quest to become an upper middle class society by 2030 is crystallizing into reality as massive progress has been recorded at the Shurugi-Mandamabwe Road Rehabilitation Program. With more than 10 kilometers already tarred, the local leadership has commended the Second Republic for investing in infrastructure development.
Tinotenda the Second Republic inotungamirirwa nababa vedu wa Mnangagwa vanoita walk the talk sure uku waiti uchibva kumasvingo pakanzi welcome to Midlands vanhu vaiva kuti welcome to potholes. Second Republic yatibatsira zvikuru kuburikidza neutungamiri hwapurezidendi wedu because muchaona kuti imwe Shurugi yave nechimwe chinano takakwaita Second Republic.
After being impressed by positive strides recorded on the project, Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution Honorable Owen Nkomo said the project is expected to bring significant economic benefits to communities in Shurugi district.
The brand of the Second Republic's development trajectory is that of moving with the speed to provide quality, visible and tangible projects, goods and services that address the needs of the communities as we gravitate towards the attainment of the upper middle income society earlier than 2030.
The first phase of the Shurugi-Mandamabwe Road rehabilitation is set for commissioning early next month. Under the Second Republic, government is scaling up the rehabilitation of major roads across the country. Karajushe, ZBC News, Shurugi.
Chibuwe and Musikavanu irrigation schemes in Chipinge have been revitalized after government and development partners availed more than 20 million United States dollars towards rehabilitation.
A green belt is now the common site at the revitalized Chibuwe and Msikavanu irrigation schemes located in the dry region of Chipinge. Farmers say the intervention by US aid is critical amid the El Nino-induced drought, with irrigation becoming the only sustainable alternative.
Yatibatsira nenye marketing linkage nekutibatanidza kumabhengi kuti tipase kutora zvikwereti nemisika kuti tione kwekutengesera.
Pakazouyawo chirongwa cheifadho chekuvandudza makanal edu nemapamp house, takaona zvakatinakira nekuti zvinhu zvese zvakufamba.
Taitambudzika kubereka manepseki tichipedza munda wese tarwadziwa, saka zvinezvi pakauya mishina iyi zviri kutiitira nyore, tiri kushandisa maboom sprayer.
The intervention is focusing on improving mechanization and extension services and creation of market linkages.
Chinangwa chikuru chefarm program ndechekuingiriza production neproductivity yevarimi vaduku kuzvirimwa zvavanorima, then MIA basa rayo iri kuuya pamusoro pezvirimwa zviya kuti vanorima varime vachishandisa machines.
USAID Zimbabwe Mission Director Mrs. Janine Davis pledged more support towards government's Irrigation Development Trust.
What's important here is our partnership. I think you can see here each partner has a role. And I think for USAID, our role is really fostering this collaboration. And so I'm excited to maintain this investment.
Government is targeting to put 350,000 hectares under irrigation by 2025 through various initiatives, including the smallholder irrigation revitalization program. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chipinge.
Women continue to leave a mark in the mining sector, with Mrs. Judith Shadaya of Mutare increasing her annual gold production to between 30 and 40 kilograms per annum.
Mrs. Judith Shadaya lost her husband in a road traffic accident, but did not look back when she started her mining journey back in 2012 to become a leading women miner in Manicaland. Today, a mining venture, Shadita Mine, has operations in Penalonga, Odzi, Nyanga, Chegutu and Masvingo.
Pagore tinoprodusa uwandu hwegoridhe redu hunosvika iwo kuma 30 to 40 kgs pagore. Mashoko andinoda kutaura kusimbisa kumadzimai munyika muno medu meZimbabwe ndeyokuti president vedu venyika ino vane mantra yokuti leaving no one behind. Zvichireva kuti kunyangwe nesuwo madzimai vakatisunungura kuti tiende kunorima, tiende kunoita zvemining.
Mrs. Shadaya's ambition continues, and she is now eyeing to increase her gold output to over 100 kgs annually.
Matenga atinawo yezvino ari apa ari 9 haasi kuti kwanira, saka takazoenda kunowedzera mamwe zvakare 8 uko kuti capacity yedu uye neproduction yedu zvirambe zvakakwirira.
She is now an inspiration to many.
Chandakaona kuti company iyi kuti ibudirire, mai awanobhadhara vashandi mune zvakanaka ende wakagwinya mukushanda.
It was difficult initially, but through hard work and perseverance and also women empowerment, which the government is promoting, she managed to build all this.
Government has availed various economic opportunities for women and youth in several sectors of the economy, including mining. Kenya Sivushe, ZBC News, Mutare.
And that's it from us here at Montrose. We now take you back to Joyce and Justin for more news.
Thank you so much, Dora. Now it is almost 25 years after the death of Zimbabwe's revolutionary icon and Vice President, Dr. Joshua Mqabugo Nkomo. The ruling ZANU PF party's national political commissar, Comrade Mnyaradzi Machacha, has described Father Zimbabwe as a patriot par excellence, adding that the nation cherishes the legacy of unity he left behind.
The late Father Zimbabwe, Dr. Joshua Mqabugo Nkomo, was born on the 19th of June 1917 in Somukwe village, Matabeleland South Province, near St. Joseph's Catholic Mission in the Plumtree district. He died aged 82 on the 1st of July 1999. He was instrumental in the formation of various protest groups and nationalist movements of this country. He was a trade unionist, a politician, a guerrilla leader, a businessman, and he died being the Vice President of the Republic. ZANU PF's political commissar, Comrade Munyaradzi Machacha, speaks on Ubaba Nkomo, Chibwe Chitedza, as many knew him.
I know him as a leader of the nationalist movement, ZAPU, and also as a fighter during the liberation struggle when he led ZIPRA to fight the war of liberation against the Ian Smith regime. Later on had very close contacts with him as I worked for the ZBC as a journalist, interviewing him on various issues of national interest, and I found him a man very passionate about having land returned to its indigenous owners, the people of Zimbabwe. This is something that you would mention in every interview that we held with him. He also was very passionate about empowering young men, young entrepreneurs, and he wanted to see the economy being transferred into the hands of the indigenous people of Zimbabwe. And these are some of the takeaways I got from each time I came into contact with him and interviewed him.
Before he passed on, Ubaba Nkomo forged unity between the two liberation movements, ZANU PF and PF ZAPU. He also told the new ZANU PF party leadership that they should always jealously guard the unity of all the people of Zimbabwe and should deliver the land to the people, as that was the major grievance of the fighting forces. These have been accomplished by the United ZANU PF party and its government. Ruben Barazat News, Harare.
An update from the courts. Harare businessmen Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu spent the weekend in custody following the postponement of their case to Monday.
Chimombe and Mpofu's third bid for freedom hit a brick wall after the Harare Magistrates Court deferred the matter to Monday for continuation of bail application. The state requested the court for more time for it to lead evidence from another witness on Monday. The state is opposed to the granting of bail to the duo for fear that they might interfere with the investigations. The two are facing fraud charges involving $7 million United States dollars. Allegations are that the duo forged a Zimbabwe Revenue Authority tax clearance certificate and a NASA compliance certificate in the name of a company called Brigadier and attached them to a bidding document, which they submitted to the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Road Development for a tender to supply and deliver goods under the Presidential Goat Pass-On scheme. The court held that through their acts, the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Road Development allegedly entered into a contract with Brigadier Livestock and Poultry Farming in 2021 for the supply and delivery of more than 630,000 goats for the Presidential Goats Pass-On scheme, but the two failed to honor their contractual obligation after receiving the payment. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
From the courts, we look at news from beyond our borders. The United Nations has warned of an imminent famine in Sudan due to the conflict that has been going on for around 14 months.
A United Nations Integrated Food Security Phase Classification report has highlighted that Sudan is facing the worst levels of acute food shortages ever. Some of the worst affected states include the Greater Darfur, South and North Kordofan, Blue Nile, Al Jazeera and Khartoum. Regional and international powers have not succeeded in their efforts to convince the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces to agree on a political path to ending the year-long military conflict.
Mauritanians head to the polls this Saturday as the incumbent president Mohamed Ould Ghazouani seeks a second term. Last year, Ghazouani's El Insaf party scored a crushing victory in the legislative election, taking 107 of the 176 seats in the National Assembly. Reports say the main opposition candidate is Birem Da Abid, a black anti-slavery activist who is running under the theme of ending slavery and curbing youth unemployment.
Iranians went to polls this Friday to vote for a new president following the death of Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash in May. Initially, Iran's 14th presidential election were set for 2025. 4 candidates are vying for the presidency, and these include Parliamentary Speaker Mohammed Bakr Kalibaf, Sahid Jalili, the former top negotiator for nuclear talks, Mustafa Paul Mohammadi, a former Interior and Justice Minister, and Masoud Pezeshkian, a former heart surgeon and former health minister. According to the Interior Ministry, more than 61 million people are eligible to vote inside and outside the country.
And that's our news from beyond our country's borders. Taking us to a break, we'll be back shortly with business news.
In today's fast-paced world, paying in ZIG is not just about exchanging physical cash. It's about tapping into the electronic payment space, where convenience meets technology. On Zimbabwe's stable, safe, sound, and efficient national payment system, experience seamless transactions at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Join the future of payments today with ZIG. Secure, reliable, effortless. Pay the smart way. Pay with ZIG.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no.
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Mama said, don't work hard, work soft, it'll be alright. So soft, soft care. Soft, soft care. Soft care.
Zimbabwe's mining legacy is a story etched deep in our soil. It's a tale of hard work, resilience, and human ingenuity in unearthing riches and building a nation. This commitment to progress continues as mining industry players continue to unlock the vast potential of our mineral reserves, driving economic transformation through innovation, mineral beneficiation, and value addition. Are you ready to be part of the next chapter? Explore cutting-edge advancements and discover endless opportunities in Zimbabwe's expanding mining value chains at the 27th edition of Mine Entra, taking place from July 17 to 19, 2024 at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center in Bulawayo. Register via our website www.zitf.co.zw. Mine Entra 2024, unearthing success, the mining value chains, innovation and industrialization nexus.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is seeking a visionary leader to shape our future. Are you a commercially astute CEO with a passion for innovation and transformation? Do you have a proven track record in business strategy and digital aptitude? If so, this is your opportunity to lead ZBC into a new era. We need a CEO who can drive growth, foster a customer-centric culture, and embrace emerging technologies. You will be responsible for upholding the highest standards of corporate governance and risk management. Scan the QR code or visit www.ipcconsultants.com/jobs/100547 to apply. Don't miss this chance to shape the future of ZBC. Apply now and be the driving force behind ZBC's success.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is expecting inflationary pressures to remain low and to end the year at 5% on the back of stable exchange rate.
The Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe held a meeting this week to assess overall performance of the economy. Resolutions of the meeting showed that the MPC expressed satisfaction with the positive effects of the monetary policy, which has stabilized the exchange rates and prices. It noted that since the beginning of April this year, the Zimbabwe gold month-on-month inflation rates are hovering between -2% and 0%. Central bank authorities are therefore expecting the country's inflation rate to end the year at 5%. Despite the effects of the El Nino-induced drought, the MPC reviews that the economy has remained resilient and is expected to grow at around 2% this year. As part of consolidating the current gains, lending rates have also been maintained at 20% per year. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has also assured the nation that it will continue to ensure full backing of the reserve money with gold, other precious minerals, and foreign currency reserves. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Leading internet and voice services provider Powertel is advancing government's goal of increasing low-cost internet connectivity 25 years after its formation.
A subsidiary of state-owned power utility ZESA Holdings, Powertel held its belated 25th anniversary celebrations in style by hosting its diverse range of clients in Harare this Friday. In an interview with ZBC News, the company's acting managing director, Mr. Willard Nyagwande, said his organization has contributed to national economic development by building strategic internet infrastructure which has lowered internet costs.
We started another project through the government of Zimbabwe where we again installed fiber. We are now able to get dedicated high-speed lightning internet into the country with quadruple backup. We have actually made internet in Zimbabwe very affordable because of these three gateways.
Powertel Marketing and Corporate Business Manager Mr. Prosper Mutswiri noted that hosting their clients for the firm's 25th anniversary was meant to appreciate their loyalty.
As we celebrated 25 years of existence since our formation in 1999, it was mainly to get feedback to our customers and to engage our customers, as well as to inspire confidence into our customers as we journey towards Vision 2030 and beyond. We're also updating them on how we have worked around bringing resilience in terms of our network and geodiversity in terms of our network, which allows them to get more affordable and cheaper internet services and huge bandwidth.
The company is capitalizing on the vast electricity distribution network of its mother company by distributing fiber through their pylons in order to connect remote areas, thereby accelerating the establishment of smart villages. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's our business update. In the arts, several events have been lined up in and around the capital, with revelers said to be spoiled for choice this weekend.
The Dam View in Chitungwiza will be a hive of activity this Saturday, where award-winning star Jah Praiser is set to perform. Jah Praiser confirmed his performance through his social media platforms. He is set to share the stage with other local musicians, including Zindenzo sensation Boss Pumako. The same night in Harare, a star-studded lineup of artists is expected to perform at the Moji Fest set for the Longcheng Plaza. Toki Vibes, Silent Killer, Stana, Ndunge Youth and Talibi are among some of the musicians set to light up the recreational venue. For dance lovers, The Chiribokune Shamwari Manicaland Finals is the place to be, where dance lovers will battle it out for the provincial title at Mandel Bar, Watsomba in Mutare. Music lovers in Karoi will not be left out, where Saint Flo is expected to perform this Friday together with Sabak the band. He will share the stage with rising Zim dancehall sensation Nisha T.S. and Ja Master. Still in entertainment, 19-year-old beauty Owami Ndlovu joins other queens from across the globe at the Miss Teen International underway in India. Patience Nyagato, CBC News, Harare.
And that's the arts. Next is sport after this break.
Zvakakosha kutanga zuva zvakanaka zvine ungwaro. Nestle Cerevita, highly nutritious, simply delicious.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no.
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe announces a new initiative to ensure sufficient local currency in circulation. Starting June 10, swipe for ZIG Cash at any HomeLink branch using your debit or credit card. Available in your ZIG denominations 1, 2, 5, and 10 ZIG. You can exchange your foreign currency for ZIG Cash at the prevailing interbank exchange rate. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is ensuring that adequate ZIG Cash is available for all, be it in public transportation, retailers, informal traders, and other key stakeholders. For more information, visit your nearest HomeLink branch. Thank you.
Welcome back. Former Dynamo striker Norman Maroto, who died this Friday, has left a rich legacy beyond the football pitch.
While it is easy to point out his success on the football pitch, where he has a record that has stood for 14 years, Norman Maroto has left a legacy outside the ground. He honed his skills at Chechu High School before he broke into the Dynamo's team as a 17-year-old boy in 2001, before moving to Ghana's FC Platinum in motor action. Even though he left Dynamos, his heart was blue and white, and every other time he would talk about how he believed Dimbaro can be great again and ways to lure fans to Rufaro Stadium. A diminutive striker, Maroto never let his stature block his way to greatness after dominating bigger defenders. His numbers on the field of play spoke for themselves at club level and at international level, where he was a trusted goal scorer for junior national teams. Maroto was not just a footballer, but also a good athlete, and went on to represent his schools in sprints, 100-meter and 200-meter events. His influence, however, was not just limited to the playing field, as Nomara believed it is possible to have violent-free matches between Dynamos and Highlanders. He's one of the few Dynamos legends, if not the only one, to come out wearing a Highlanders shirt in public and call for an end to hooliganism. Maroto was one of a kind, a legend of the Premier Soccer League, who believed in sharing a word or two of advice to young footballers. After matches, the sight of him with young strikers and attackers was a common feature. He also frequented women football matches, and the WPSL stars would crowd him after matches for a word of advice. Even to journalists, he always spoke of the need to improve one's skills to stay relevant in a changing environment. Affectionately known as Lumumba, Maroto believed there are many pathways for former footballers besides venturing into coaching. The former Chechu High School star studied information technology and later attended the FIFA Legends program. As monarchs gathered at 2360 Tino South, many songs will be churned out, but there is one which would definitely describe the always smiling striker, Vakanaka Vararame. Legends do not die, the rest. Nomen Maroto Lumumba, the gunslinger, has rested. Lawrence Tuseda, ZBC News, Harare.
May his soul rest in peace. Group C at the 2024 COSAFA Cup opened with 2 draws this Friday. Angola and Namibia drew 0-0 after Lesotho and Seychelles had settled for a 1-0 stalemate at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in South Africa. The much-anticipated clash between Pelantes Negras and the Brave Warriors failed to produce a goal despite the best efforts of both sides, but there was still rich entertainment for the fans who came into the stadium. Last year's beaten finalists Lesotho were held to a 1-1 draw by Seychelles in the opening game on Friday, ending a run of 7 successive losses for the Islanders in the competition dating back to 2019. Jane Tabanso, who holds the record for the fastest goal in COSAFA Cup history after 34 seconds against Mauritius in 2016, netted the opener for Lesotho on 19 minutes. Lesotho could, however, not hold on to the Seychelles, found an equalizer midway through the second half via Lorenzo Haru to earn themselves a point. Action continues Saturday at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium with the second round of games in Group A. Action moves to the Isaac Wolfson Stadium, where Mozambique play against Eswatini at midday before South Africa tackle Botswana at 3 p.m.
Still on soccer, Bulawayo Giants Highlanders are sweating over the unavailability of goalkeeper Rafael PTC and midfielder Makinon Mushore as they travel to Harare for a date against unpredictable Yada at the Hart Stadium.
Rafael PTC, who had deposed Captain Ero Sibanda from the goalpost, and attacking midfielder Makinon Mushore are with the national team at the 2024 COSAFA Cup in South Africa. Long-standing Captain Ero Sibanda, who had been relegated to the bench before picking up an injury, will need a late fitness test to ascertain his condition. Their host on Saturday, Yada, might be struggling but know how well to play big games as they have taken points away from Dynamos, FC Platinum Manica Diamonds, Chicken Inn, defending champions against the Platinum Stars. Complicating the whole situation, Yada are home to former Warriors midfielder Kama Billiard, who has found his footing at the Miracle Boys.
In terms of our match preparation, everything seems to be going to according to plan, and as you are aware that we are planning without 2 of our players that are currently with the national team. So in terms of preparation, we are doing as much as possible to plan without having them for the next fixture.
Across other venues, Bulawayo Chiefs date Manica Diamonds at Luveve, while Simba Bora faces ZPC Kariba at Wazana Stadium, with the big match of the round set for Baobab Stadium as defending champions against the Platinum Stars host Capes United. On Sunday, a Midlands derby pitting Tel 1 and FC Platinum will erupt at Bata Stadium in Gweru, while Wange welcome Bikita Minerals at the Colliery. Dynamos face off with Greenfield at Rufaro as Jaguar Pirates entertain Arnold Movers at Baobab. Chicken Inn host Rentals at Luveve to conclude the first half of the season. Mtogozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of the main news. Thank you for having been part of us. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.